G'day everyone. I don't know what you just watched. Don't get me to explain the dark nats to you. I don't know where they came from. I don't know who they are, but they are massive in Japan. So, might not be very big here yet, but they're massive in Japan. So it's great. Maybe there'll be more of those episodes. We'll see. But I actually wanted to start on Japan today, and I will get to that. But before I do, I did just want to say a few words about Charlie Kirk. It's been a tough week for many of us. And a few months ago, I actually emailed Charlie out of the blue. I wanted him to come here. I thought he'd be great in Australia. And when I did that, I actually didn't know if that many people followed him here. I followed him, but I'm a bit abnormal. And I just wasn't sure whether, the average young Australian kid knew much about Charlie Kirk. And obviously, what we've seen, sadly, the last 2 weeks is he had a huge following. He had a massive following right around the world. And it is a bit perplexing. How did he have such a following almost secretly among many of our young children watching him online? And the more I've seen the videos, which I'm sure we've all seen on our social media feeds, the more I've seen the videos of Charlie in the last week or so, what strikes me is that he had a huge following because he displayed courage. He displayed courage by going into the belly of the beast, into our university campuses, and tackling the left with unapologetically strong views. He had courage when he displayed his Christian faith without any apology. And it was that courage that got him a following. And given what we've seen in the last couple of weeks, I do think that courage is making a comeback. It's making a comeback. And the only way we are going to come back is if we display the same courage. It's the only way. There's no other path for us. We have to have the courage to call out the state of our nation and where things are. You might have seen the Prime Minister this week. He said he had a fun fact about China. He said China's installing half the world's solar at the moment. He doesn't mention that they're also building well over half the world's coal-fired power stations. He doesn't mention that word. But I've got another fun fact today, a fun fact from Japan. I've got a good mate in Japan, and last week he sent me his latest power bill from Japan. And his power bill came to, after taxes, to 21,000 yen. It was 700 kilowatt hours. Works out at a price of 31 yen per kilowatt hour. That's 32 cents Aussie. And then I went to ask my wife, said, what's our latest power bill? So I pulled that one out. And I don't want to tell you the number, it's too sad. It's just, unbelievable. But we had to pay that one, and it works out, guess what, at 33 cents per kilowatt hour. Now, we're the biggest energy supplier to Japan. We supply half their fossil fuel needs from our country, our coal and gas. And how have we allowed a situation to emerge where Japanese families are paying less for electricity than Australians? How has that happened? How has it happened? It's happened because we have adopted ridiculously insane policies in this country. The access to cheap energy should be the birthright of every Australian. We have the world's best energy resources. Coal, the gas, uranium, it's just beautiful, it's just amazing, it's so abundant. Yet we've got this strange rule now, it's a very bizarre rule, where we let other countries access that energy, but we deny it to ourselves. We ban nuclear energy, we demonise gas, and we've got a de facto ban on coal-fired power stations now. Other countries can do what they like. They can come here, take what you want, but we just can't use it ourselves. It's like having a golden goose in your backyard, but you only let the neighbours collect the eggs. I mean, what are we doing? I mean, that birthright to cheap energy, it is what has underpinned our prosperity. It is why Australia has one of the highest wages in the world. Australians can enjoy a very good living thanks to having cheap energy, because when you have cheap energy, businesses can afford to pay dear wages. And if we stick with dear energy, we're going to get cheap wages. They're going to come down. Because the easiest and quickest way you can destroy a prosperous industrial economy is to increase the price of energy. And we are well on that way. Since we've signed up to net zero, real wages in Australia have gone back more than a decade. They're back to 20. The people being paid now, their real wages are the same as they were in 2013. Right, 2013. Since we signed up to net zero, energy prices have surged by 40% just in 3 years. It was only 3 years ago we did this. Since we signed up to net zero, we have lost our nickel industry, our plastics industry, our urea industry. Urea is the most important fertiliser that helps us grow food, and we now import that from China and the Middle East. So for the first time since the early settlers, Australia cannot feed itself, thanks to net zero. Net zero has been a complete and utter failure, but the good news is people are waking up to this scam. In the last few months, we've seen party units of the Liberal or National parties in every mainland state vote down net zero. They're down. And they've done so comprehensively. I mean, even in Victoria, even the Victorian Liberals. And I kind of from up here in Queensland, I'd kind of almost written off Victoria because all your Conservatives there seem to have moved here to Queensland. And I thought it was done, it's over. But you know, not by a long shot. They're making a comeback too, because the Victorian Liberals showed courage and absolutely got rid of net zero last week. So thank you, Victoria. Well done. So we do need to spend a little bit of time. What is net zero? I mean, net zero is a 25-year plan now. We've got 25 years left, 2050, 25-year plan to change everything we do, It wants to change how we make energy, how we grow food, how we transport ourselves, drive ourselves around. Even the food we eat has to change thanks to net zero. And so, in a way, it's just a big planning scheme, right? It's a whole new government plan. It's the biggest government plan in world history. There's another word for that. It's called socialism. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's a socialist plan. Now, even Stalin, give him his due, he only had 5-year plans. They only planned over a 5-year period. But our current Politburo down there in Canberra thinks that they can plan for 25 years into the future. It is absolutely absurd, and I don't think we've really thought this through. I don't know if you saw this headline this week in the Australian Financial Review. It's a bit of an alarming headline. It said that China could disable or detonate our EVs, warns top cyber expert. I kind of had to read it twice. I said, disable, yeah, I get that, maybe. But detonate? Detonate? And so what's going to happen? Are you going to be driving along the highway one day? You're just driving along and bang, you look over, some car just blows up next to you. I think, well, there's another casualty for the climate wars. I mean, what are we doing? Why would we give over control of everything we do to another nation without blinking an eyelid? And as I said, it's actually only been 3 years. It feels like we've had net zero forever, but it's been 3 years since we signed up to this. And it has just completely and utterly failed. So net zero doesn't just need to be gotten rid of now. Net zero has to be completely scrapped. Not modified. Not amended, not changed into some other form. Net zero just needs to go. Because some are saying now that we could just keep a little bit of net zero. Just keep a little bit, just downgrade it to an aspiration or a dream or something. We don't need a little bit of socialism. You know, you don't tell your wife you're just going to practice a little bit of adultery. We don't need that, right? We don't need it at all. And so we don't just need to dump net zero. We need to make sure net zero is dead, it's buried, and it's cremated. That's what needs to happen. Now's the time for that courage. It's time for that courage. Because Australians are suffering right now, suffering like they haven't done for a long time. Our bills are up, services are down, feels like everything is not working the way it used to. And I think even though all those practical things that are happening, what I feel out there when I talk to Australians is that even more than a cut in their energy bills, what they would love to see again is just some leadership in this country. And I do want to give a shout out to my good friend Andrew Hastie. He's not here this weekend. As Andrew said this week, he nailed his colours to the mast. He said if we didn't scrap net zero, he'd be out. He'd go and spend more time with his children. And look, that's not a bad second prize in my book, not a bad second prize at all. But isn't it refreshing to have a political leader that's willing to put his principles, his values ahead of his career? We do kind of need more of this leadership. We need it because we are in a desperate state in this nation. We are, though, proud, a proud people, a proud nation. We are the people that built the Snowy Hydro scheme. We are the people that created a vast food bowl in an arid interior land called the Murray-Darling. We are the people that built copper smelters, steel mills, nickel refineries, supplying the world with the raw materials that have created a modern industrial economy. Still to this day, the way copper is made in almost every country in the world is done using techniques that were developed here in this state in Mount Isa, developed by Australians, for Australians. And so making things, building things, growing things, even blowing up things from time to time if you're in the mining industry, those things are in the DNA of our country, of our people. It's what we've done. But we're losing that heritage. We're losing that physical connection to what we have done because of our mad pursuit of net zero. That copper smelter industry that I mentioned, it's on its knees. We could lose the copper smelter and refinery in North Queensland in the next couple of weeks. I hope we don't. And we probably won't, but we'll only not lose it because there'll be yet another massive taxpayer-funded bailout to support an industry that used to be able to support Australia. We used to have industries that created wealth, put money on the table, paid taxes, helped us have a more prosperous land, and now we only keep the industries as long as Canberra is willing to keep the life support on. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. Because Australia is not just an idea. Australia is not just a spreadsheet in an economic model. Australia is a physical place. It's a collection of people. Australia is our farms, our mines, our factories, which give people pride in their nation and pride in what we can achieve with hard work and our bare hands. It is those people that have built our country and continue to build our nation. And it is those people that we must fight like hell for to come back as a political movement. I think the people we need to think about are those that have to shower after work, not before work. Those people... Those hard-working Australians finish the day tired. They're tired. They're tired of their work, tired of having to pay higher and higher bills. They're tired of having to worry about whether their kids will ever even own a home in the future. They're tired of hearing from politicians who seem to care more about global acclaim at the United Nations than solving the hard, everyday problems Australians face. The Prime Minister next week travels to New York to address the United Nations. The priorities of his government will be on stark display. He's going to recognise the Palestinian state and announce the highest carbon taxes in the world. So the bloke, let me get this straight, the bloke who couldn't reduce our power bills by $275 is going to solve Middle East peace and change the temperature of the globe. Rightio. I mean, can we just have a leader that focuses on the Australian people for a change? We just have that. That's simple. It's a pretty simple. Because I've just got a simple proposal. Maybe we just run Australia's energy system with the sole and exclusive purpose of benefiting the Australian people. Maybe we do that. Maybe we do that for a change. The primary purpose of our energy policy should be to deliver the lowest power prices for Australians. No ifs, no buts. Let's just deliver cheap power again by building everything. By building nuclear, by building gas, building some solar and wind, but also building coal. Let's do that as well. Now, things are just not working for the Australian people. You can see that in everything that's happening. It's just not happening for our country. And yet there are people around among us that now want to laud modern Australia. But when I hear the term modern Australia, I think of skyrocketing energy prices, out-of-control migration, young people that can't afford a home, violent crime spiralling, our national highways with potholes that make it look like a moonscape, and huge waiting times at our hospitals. Modern Australia is just not the place it used to be. Maybe, just maybe, we should take ourselves back. Well, not that long ago, we used to have a controlled migration program. Not that long ago, we didn't used to have machete bins on our streets. Not that long ago, we had the cheapest power prices in the world. Former Senator Ron Boswell, who I think is here today, he's a great man. He reminded me the other week that 20 years ago, the Australian government released an energy white paper. And that energy white paper proudly stated, let me quote from it, stated, Australia enjoys some of the lowest stationary energy prices in the developed world. There was a chart in that report that showed that Japanese energy prices were 4 times higher than Australia's. 20 years ago, 4 times higher, and now we're above Japan. So maybe it's time we say goodbye to modern Australia and return to a traditional Australia, where we had some of the cheapest power prices in the world. Maybe it's time we go back to the future. Because and I'm not saying, I get accused sometimes of wanting to take people back to the 1950s. I don't know. I don't know what the 1950s were like. I wasn't born. Maybe it was good, maybe it was bad, I don't know. But I was around in the 1990s. I do remember that. And I want to finish on a lighter note. A couple of weeks ago, had Father's Day, and my kids bought me some of these glasses here. And they're a bit of a throwback, a bit of a retro throwback to the 1990s. What do you reckon? They look all right? What do you reckon? Look okay? My kids like them. And maybe we should go back. Maybe we should go back to this time where we had bright colours, we were optimistic, we had endless plains of horizons ahead of us. And let's go back. So let's get in our DeLoreans, let's take it up to 88 miles per hour, go back to the future, take back our country and save Australia. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. God bless. Thank you. Thank you.